be making the phone calls at that particular point. And I advised her that it seemed that someone unknown how would come up with the information that a trace was being put on the phones, and the calls would mysteriously stop. At which point I asked her if she would keep a secret with me, and it would just be her and I that would know about this particular trace. And at that point, if it was Mark that was making the phone calls, we would find that out. It would be a civil action at that point. If she didn't want to pursue it, it would not be pursued criminally. And at that particular point, she agreed to the trace.
And she agreed to not tell Mark about the trace?
That is correct.
And so then you did another trace?
Yes, we did.
And did the harassing phone calls?
Can we get a date for any of these traces, please?
Well, let's talk about this trace where you'd asked Julie to not tell Mark about it. Do you remember about when that trace occurred?
I believe it would have been either late 95 or 96.
As you're sitting here now today, do you remember if that was the third time the trace was put on or the fourth time the trace was put on?
Would have been the last time would have been the fourth time.
Okay, so this is the fourth time the trace had been put on.
Yeah, that's correct.
And each of the three preceding times, as soon as the trace was put on, the phone call stopped.
That's correct.
So this fourth time, what did you say to Julie about not telling Mark?
Just not to tell him that it would be our secret. And again, if it were to turn out that Mark had been making the phone calls, she could handle it any way she wanted to. If she wanted to handle it criminally, it could be done, or she could just dismiss the whole thing. But I would, at that point, like to rule Mark out as a suspect. If the calls continued, then it would lead me in a new direction for the investigation.
So you put the trace on the fourth time?
That is correct.
And what happened?
After about 3 or 4 days, I had not heard anything from Julie Jensen. So I stopped by, I think it would have been probably about 4 days after the trace had been activated, to find out if there had been any more phone calls.
And what did she say?
She said the calls had stopped.
And what did you say?
Judging by her demeanor, she would not look me in the eye. She was looking down. And I asked her at that point if she had told Mark about the trace, and she said she had.
I want you to try to remember the precise language that you used when you asked Julie about this. How did you say it to her?
I asked her if she told Mark, and she said yes, she had. And I believe I made a comment at that point of, Julie, why did you do that? And kind of in a disgusted language. And apparently I was a little loud, because I do recall one of the children being asleep inside the home and woke up, so I may have been a little boisterous at that point.
So you were upset with her?
Absolutely.
And did she offer you an explanation as to why she told Mark?
She did not want to keep any more secrets from him. She felt bad because she had the affair. She kept that a secret, and she wanted to keep no more secrets from Mark whatsoever.
So after that, you never put any more traces on the phone call, did you?
No, we did not.
Now, tell us about the location of some of these photos, as you recall. Over the years, did these photos show up in just one place, or were there a variety of places where the photos were allegedly popping up?
Judge, if we could have some specifics as to times and places.
I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't hear.
That's for cross.
So that means you can answer the question, officer.
She said basically that, again, Mark had been the one finding most of the pictures. They would either be left outside the house, near the front area, the front door, by the bushes, around the garage, on the deck, and near the pool, and also somewhat by a little storage shed that they had as well. And she did tell me at one time that Mark had found some pornographic pictures in a boat that was parked inside the garage.
Did she ever describe an incident where she found the pornographic photos?
No.
Well, did she ever tell you that she found the pornographic photos, or did she always say that it was Mark that had found them? Or don't
She
you recall?
always, most of the time, she said that Mark had found the photos. Other times, photos were found, at which point I did not ask who found them. I just assumed that Mark had.
Now, during the course of this investigation, early on, Julie had indicated that she suspected Prairie PD, correct?
That is correct.
Did you ever talk to Mark Jensen during the course of this investigation?
About the allegations, no.
Did Julie ever describe to you Mark's claims that he had received some of these photos at work?
Phone calls and photographs at work.
Did she describe to you the manner in which these photographs were allegedly received at work?
They were being left on his vehicle.
Now, I'm going to show you a series of photos, and for the record, they're marked States S196, I'm sorry, S173 through S196. Have you seen these, Counsel?
They're marked. Are these in order?
They're in reverse order, so you start, yeah, they're in reverse order. This is 173. Well, counsel's comparing the photographs to his photographs there. I'll ask you some more questions. Aside from proposing this trace to capture where the phone calls were coming from, did you ever suggest any other alternative investigative ploys or techniques that Julie or Mark Jensen might resort to in order to find out who's leaving the photographs around?
The placement of a camcorder at his place of employment.
Did you give him any advice as to where to place the camcorder?
I advised him to park in his normal location, and if he could find a spot inside the building where he could record his vehicle, to record the vehicle, and at any point, if you were to find any photographs when he came back out after work or his lunch break, to call me immediately.
And do you know, to your knowledge, did they ever do that? Did they place any video cameras either in their child's bedroom or in some vicinity to Mark Jensen's truck at work?
I offered him the use of a camera, and he, at that point, said that he had a camera that he could use.
So you did talk to Mark Jensen at that point?
At that point, yes, I did.
And when you were talking to Mark Jensen at that point, did he offer you any descriptions of his understanding of what was taking place at work with respect to these photographs or harassing phone calls?
At first, he said that the camcorder could be put in a conference room, or it could be aimed out a window and he could be able to record his truck. He then advised me that that would not work because the conference room was used by all the associates. And he didn't want to explain to all the associates that his wife had an affair, and that's why he was recording his truck at that point.
Did you ever learn from Mark or Julie Jensen as to whether or not they ever put a camcorder anywhere to try to catch the person or persons that were allegedly leaving these photographs around?
I was advised that the camera had been used.
Who advised you of that?
Julie Jensen.
Did she tell you if they found anything?
She said they had not.
Did she tell you who placed the camera?
She said that Mark had.
Did Julie ever indicate to you what Mark was saying about these harassing phone calls, what he would say to her about these harassing phone calls, or what he would say to her about these photos that were being allegedly left around the house?
He just was angry that she had the affair and basically blamed her for all the problems.
And how was Julie reacting to this accusation that all of these things were taking place because of that affair she'd had so many years ago?
I was taking emotional strain on her and her marriage.
Now, Officer Kosman, I'm going to ask you to, we're going to go through these photos one by one. In fact, you know, I wonder if I can display them up here with this magical machine over here. There we go. Do you want me to have him identified before? Because I was going to just put him up there, but he hasn't identified right now. Officer Kosman, I guess before I put him on the machine there, I'll have you identify these photographs. Let's start with exhibit S173 and these through S196. Just flip through those photos if you would, please. Got that turned on yet? Okay. Oh, you don't know how to turn it on. Okay. Don't push the wrong button. Yeah, we don't know what had happened. And I just want you to go through them and see if, are those the photos that you developed off the film that was provided to you by Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
Thank you. Now we'll go through them. Did we get that thing turned on yet, Kathy, or not? Do you know? Not yet. No.
So at this point, I'm pausing the video, and I will be showing what has been marked, that was previously marked as States Exhibit 173. Hold on.
Can the jury see that?
I'm going to try to get the view so it's
Right.
most centered.
Is that better for the jury? Can you see it? All right, they answered yes.
So now I'm going to resume the video.
Back first. I show you this item that has been marked as State's Exhibit 173, and is that a photograph, one of the photographs that was recovered when you developed the film that Julie Jensen provided to you?
That is correct.
You know what that, what does it say? And,
It may be NJ.
okay.
It's hard to make out.
And then read the rest of it.
Aspirin, bottled booze, razor blades. Not sure what the other word is,
Is
Brianne.
it Librium?
Librium, shells, DeFazio, Terry, patches, shells, syringe, bag handles.
Bag handles. Okay. And so you, when you examined that list, were you able to fathom any significance to the things on that list?
Not really, with the exception of maybe the syringe. It doesn't seem to be an item that a lot of people would use.
Bag
Or
handles?
that and the second one, Nicotrol and the Librium as well.
Now, directing your attention to State's Exhibit 174.
So I'm pausing it again and showing State's Exhibit 174.
Does the jury have a chance to see that one? Can you see it? We're good? Yes. All right.
I'll try to blow it up a little bit.
We're not good now. All right.
And now resuming the video.
This also is a photograph that was developed from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen.
That's correct.
And can you read what that says here? Let's see if I Can you read what that says?
Appears that it says low tolerance, maybe funky, neck. I'm not sure what the other one, funly or something along that line. 2 prior weekend.
It says funky, 2 prior weekend?
Does not mean anything to me.
Okay, doesn't mean anything to you. And then underneath that, what does it say?
I'm sorry?
Underneath funky, 2 prior weekend, what does it say under that?
Which one are you referring to?
Okay, what's beneath the 3rd line? In other words, what's in the 4th line there?
Is it funly, 2 prior weekend?
Funky? Is that funky?
It may be funky.
And then under that?
Pen, sweet, 63102.
Well, underneath funky, 2 prior weekend, what does that say? Right here.
Second
Rate?
I believe it does say that.
And then beneath that?
It appears to say pen, sweet,
And then underneath that?
thinking.
And underneath that?
I'm not sure what that word is.
And underneath that is $sign?
Is underneath, whatever that word is a symbol used for money.
And then underneath that, what does it say?
Muthus? And I can't read what the second one is. Envious of me or envy of me?
Underneath that?
Maybe new?
Well, under that, does it say has something, everything that he wants? Or have?
Everything that he wants.
And underneath that?
Obviously, I'm not sure what that word would be.
Obviously successful, big producer.
Okay, successful big producer, manager.
Maybe I can read that and move that up a little bit to make it easier to read. Let's see. Is that easier to read then, officer, if I do that for you?
Yeah,
Because I'm looking down here and I'm thinking, gee, it's easier for me to read. I can't give you, I need to pull it up there for you. And then what does it say under the word obviously?
manager, have own branches you put together, make and all look easy. And boys, with the line under that appears to be oils, PDE, comma, NE, the initial DD, initial HI, with a star next to the initials MCD at 6.5, and the star again with the initials MCK.
And that didn't mean anything to you, did it?
Judge, this would be improper opinion testimony from this witness.
If he knows, he can answer.
Okay. In your estimation, did this information, what was depicted here, did you see how it was relevant to Julie's concerns?
Some of it, yes.
Okay, tell us what you thought was relevant to Julie's concerns.
Object, this is improper opinion, Judge.
No, he's not asking, he's asking about his historical opinion as opposed to what he now thinks, and as to what his reaction was to having seen this information.
I don't think it, at the time his opinion would have been admissible or relevant.
I think overall.
So at the time you looked at this, did you see anything here that you thought might be relevant to Julie Jensen's concerns?
Maybe the envious of me. Obviously successful big producer, along with the put it all together and make it look easy. oils and what the initials may have stood for.
Now, directing your attention to the State's Exhibit 175.
So I'm pausing it again and displaying States Exhibit 175. And now resuming the video.
State's Exhibit 175 depicts a State's Exhibit 175 depicts another photograph that was contained in the film that Julie Jensen gave to you, correct?
Correct.
And I would say you probably can't read those, so I'm going to try and get a little bit closer to it. First of all, this looks like a calendar page, correct?
That is correct.
From November of '98.
That is correct.
Well, let's put it that way then. Is there anything about Exhibit 175 that really stood out to you, or to your knowledge, Detective Ratsburg?
Not really.
Directing your attention to State's Exhibit 176.
I will now display States Exhibit 176. And now resuming the video.
And that's another photo that you recovered from the Julie Jensen's film, or the film of Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
I don't know if I can arrange this so it can be read. It seems like the light is... We should turn the light off. Let's see. Does that make it easier to...
Can you perhaps move the focus, make it smaller?
make it small? That doesn't seem
No,
to
that
help.
doesn't help.
Not a bad idea. Maybe I can do it. Now, I hold it just exactly like that. Can you read what that says?
No foundation to row, maybe relevance, manipulation, doesn't want to be there, idolized him, drinking and sex, doesn't trust him, belittle, abusive, passive aggressive, and minimize.
And you didn't have any idea what that was referenced to?
At that particular point, I thought it may be kind of comparing the good side to a bad side.
Directing your attention to States Exhibit 177.
I will now display States Exhibit 177. And now resuming the video.
Back up so that you can see the photograph. That again is a photograph that you recovered from the film that Julie Jensen provided to you.
That is correct.
And the only thing there says October 1998, daily record of events, and time 8, it appears to be a time, 8:40. Is there anything else on there that was of any significance to you?
No.
Directing your attention to Exhibit 178.
I will now display State's Exhibit 178. And now resuming the video.
Again, that's a photograph that you recovered from the film that Julie Jensen provided to you.
That is correct.
It shows the date of Friday, October 23rd, and the time 12:30.
That's correct.
Yeah, there was nothing there that would link up this particular photo or the thing that's depicted in that photo to Julie Jensen's suspicions, as near as you could tell, wasn't it?
No, there was nothing at that point.
And then directing your attention to the State's Exhibit 179. This is a photo that you recovered from the film from Julie Jensen,
That is correct.
and it depicts the date of Tuesday, October 20th,
Can
1998.
we show 179?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
I will now display on the screen State's Exhibit 179. And now resuming the video.
And again, there's just a daily record of events and a time.
7:54.
And you don't know the significance of that.
I did not know the significance of it, no.
Directing and State's Exhibit 180.
I will now display State's Exhibit 180. And now resuming the video.
Again, it appears to be pages out of a calendar, daily calendar, correct?
Correct.
From
October
October
of
1998. Can you read the date up there? Can you read that?
October 13th,
And the
but
other.
that's the October of 1998.
And let's see. You don't have any idea what SIA means?
On the 21st, I believe the initials are SIA, and underneath it is written dinner.
And then on the 27th, it's circled.
27th being circled with the word regroup.
And you didn't know what that meant either, did you?
No, I did not.
And then first there's a star.
That's correct.
You didn't know what that meant?
No, I do not.
Second, another star with the word Appleton underneath it. You didn't know what that meant?
At that point, I was assuming that the stars meant that you would be in Appleton at that time.
So then on October 8th, well, I can't read that from here. Let's see. The word, what did I
I
do?
believe it was Scott.
What did I do here? Did I do? Oh, I guess I can. What did I do now?
Now you've done it.
Oh, I guess so. They shouldn't give me this machine, should they? Just the word Scott, correct?
Correct.
And then on the 9th, Mary,
Muriel
and then
Dawn?
the word Dawn,
Dawn.
D-A-U-N.
Dawn.
And then the 10th says
Call them all.
and then on the 16th, Mike, Fred, for Marriott, right?
Correct. Marriott.
And then 17th, wedding call FGHT. You don't, that's what that says?
Here's what it says.
22nd, SIA, correct?
Correct.
And the 23rd, let's see, 22nd says SIA, there's no asterisk or star above it. 23rd, there's a star and an SIA, correct?
Correct.
24th, there's a star and an SIA, correct?
Correct.
Then the 29th, IDLYBAR. You don't know what that means.
No.
30th,
Door County.
Door County. 31st, Indy.
Correct.
And you know what any of that meant.
No, I didn't.
That was S-180.
Judge, I object to continuing questions about whether he knows what it meant.
Overruled.
Now, directing your attention to S-181.
I will now display S-181. And now resuming the video.
S21 is another photograph of another that was recovered from the film that Julie Jensen provided to you.
That is correct.
November 2nd, the word Brookfield appears.
Correct.
And on the 8th, there's an asterisk and the time 3:55 is noted, correct?
Correct.
And on the 9th, it says Cosney 1. And then what is that underneath? There's Storberg 4.
Correct.
That's what that says. On the 18th, school conference 5:15, correct?
Correct.
On the 23rd, it says dinner May. What is this? What are the words after dinner? Can you see? Is it MNY or something?
Could be M and Y.
24th, the word is that session?
Session. Correct.
And then on the 5th, Thursday the 5th, there's an asterisk, blueprint MGA, is that? MGR, 1:30 and 9:30, correct?
Correct.
And on the 6th, there's an asterisk, blueprint.
Correct.
On the 7th, an asterisk, blueprint.
Correct.
And then on the 12th, that's it. DNVR and I don't know what is that, session?
Correct.
13th an asterisk,
Correct.
14th an asterisk, and the letters PGNT.
Correct.
The 19th. Here. I'm not doing that, I think the machine's doing that. The 19th, APPT 11, and then it says Scott underneath that, correct?
Correct.
21st, SHW.
Correct.
27th, looks like the word poor, doesn't it? Or maybe not, I don't know. So,
I can't make a note.
on the 28th, it says dog 1050, and then laser, correct?
Correct.
Then on the 26th, it's printed the word Thanksgiving underneath there, correct?
That is correct.
On the 27th, the word poor appears, correct? Is it poor or pool? Can't make it
Might
out.
be pool. Maybe an L at the end or a C.
Pool. Okay. And then on the 28th, oh, dog, 10:50, 11. Okay. So that was the State's Exhibit 181, which was another photo recovered from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
Judge, I think this might be a good spot to stop for a break.
All right.
And then we'll
We're going to stop it then. Folks, please don't talk about the case. We'll take a good 10 minutes, okay? No problem. All right, we're back on the record on Mark Jensen's file, case 2002 CF 314. We're going to continue with Ron Kosman's video. Anytime you're ready, Ms. McNeil.
And again, this is a photo that you recovered from the film.
And so now I will display State's Exhibit 182. Now resuming the video.
Provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
And does that appear to be OILS, oils?
Correct.
And then underneath that DD?
Correct.
And underneath that MCD?
Correct.
And under that MCK?
Correct.
And under that BT?
Correct.
And under that BA?
Correct.
And under that HAL?
Correct.
And underneath that mystery 1016?
Correct.
And then going to the top again. Let's see if I can. That's backing up VS away.
Correct.
And then the word dawn, DAUN,
Correct.
ring,
Correct.
married, telling me.
Worried.
I'm sorry, worried. Okay. Thank you, counsel.
Yeah. Appears to
Worried,
be worried.
telling
Correct.
me. Correct. And then don't think it's going to work.
Correct.
It's up there. And then quotes,
Quotes. Correct.
and that was from October 28th, correct?
That is correct.
And directing, go back again here. Directing your attention to,
So I will now display State's Exhibit 183. And now resuming the video.
this exhibit, I'm sorry, I forgot the number, Exhibit 183. Exhibit 183 is a photo that you recovered from the film that was given to you by Julie Jensen, correct?
That is correct.
And this is for Friday, October 30th, right?
That is correct.
And it reads, I thing,
Correct.
MCK,
Correct.
MCD,
Correct.
big questions, big issues,
Correct.
blueprint.
Correct.
Is this going to work for you?
Correct.
Then Brookfield and a number, tell them. Correct? And then, what's this? Her.
Correct.
Then directing your attention to States Exhibit 184.
I'm now going to display States Exhibit 184. And now returning to the video.
This is another photo that was recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
And this is October 27th, Tuesday.
Correct.
And the word oils, correct? Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And then PDR, GLM, PE, and is that SL?
Did you say PDR, Mr. Chambers?
I thought it said PDR.
No,
Maybe
PD, what did I miss, did I hear it wrong?
Maybe I said PDR, I don't know, I was trying to read it, and I thought it said PDR, so maybe that's what I
It
said.
doesn't look like PDR to me.
Okay, what is it, thank you, Judge, I'll try to get it. What does it look like to you?
It may be an E.
PDE, okay. GLM,
Correct.
NE,
Correct.
SL, or, well, NE or WE, looks like one of those things. And then SL, does it look like B?
Looks like B.
And then under the word oils, there's DD,
Correct.
HI,
Correct.
MCD, MCK,
Correct.
BT, BA.
Correct.
And then, does it say daily pen shop? Does that look like to you?
I'm not sure what the second word is.
And the number underneath it is 414-276-8900.
That is correct.
Underneath that it says LeGrand 185.
Correct.
Did you find out what that number was for?
Officer Kosman, did you ever find out what that number was for?
No.
Okay. And then there's a mark in front of the word question, and then a dash, and an E and a dash. Correct?
Correct.
And then underneath that, funky tolerance.
Correct.
Underneath that, fishing.
Correct.
And under that, evening blueprint.
Correct.
And underneath that, blueprint, Saturday/8.
Correct.
Saturday.
Or
I'm sorry,
Sunday.
slash Sunday.
Sunday.
Saturday/Sunday, I'm sorry. And underneath that, looks like dawn, D-A-U-N, correct?
Was a line through it, correct?
And then the word new with a line through it,
Take that as now,
Now.
N-O-W,
okay? And then
Door County,
with a line through it.
with a line through it, correct?
And then underneath that, appropriate verbiage.
Correct.
Directing your attention to States Exhibit 185.
I will now display States Exhibit 185. And now returning to the video.
Back here so you see the whole picture. Is the photograph you recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen?
Yes, it is.
And that's for Tuesday, November 3rd.
That is correct.
And the word, is that
It appears to be court, C-O-U-R-T.
and then 2.5 acre new? Or is that now? 2.5 acre now?
Looks like now.
25 acres equal
1,000 feet square.
1/5 mile each side,
Correct.
and then a minus sign or a dash, and 75 M, correct?
Correct.
And that says Wisconsin loghomes.com, correct?
Correct.
And then a circle,
Any question about that? Okay, thanks.
and I'm sorry, and now I'm directing your attention to States Exhibit 186, and that's another.
So I will now display States Exhibit 186. And now resuming the video.
photograph that was recovered from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen, correct?
That is correct.
Monday, November 2nd?
Correct.
And reads big questions / big issues.
Correct.
Are you happy?
Correct.
Why chase the funky?
Correct.
Is the banter going to work for you? Really?
Correct.
Breathe. What? Is that what that says?
Yes.
Aspirin over the weekend.
Correct.
Correct?
That is correct.
And then what, how, why? And then Joe, it will be on your desk when you get back. Or should or something?
Should.
Should I drop off activity? Correct?
Correct.
And then the word cabin, 26 by 24 / 624, correct?
Correct. Looks like 16 by 24.
16
16 x 24.
16 by 24 BR.
Correct.
COOT P21.
Cost per square foot.
Oh, cost per square foot. See, I'm not very good at this. And then greatwood.com, correct?
Correct.
WildernessLogHomes.com,
Correct.
WisconsinLogHomes.com,
Correct.
New Court Financial,
Correct.
correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Direct your attention to States Exhibit 187.
I will now display States Exhibit 187. And now returning to the video.
There's another photograph that was recovered from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen.
Can you put that in there at a different attitude, because otherwise we'll all have stiff necks.
Otherwise what?
We'll all get stiff necks.
Oh, like this?
Well, then we'll get them stiff the other way.
Well, Judge, I'm doing my level best here.
Well, level's not the problem. It's the attitude. You need to move it 45 degrees.
They're like that, huh?
Very commendable.
Now, let's see. Now, this is a photograph that you recovered from the film that Julie Jensen provided to you.
That's correct.
And it's November 1998, daily record of events, correct?
Correct.
And up there is the letter CCI,
Appears to be CCI.
and then troop leader,
Correct.
Ed test, December 7th.
Correct.
Is that explorers or explorer?
Explorer.
Dash font, F-O-N-T, Times New Roman.
So what it appears.
Courier, new.
Correct.
Font, something or other, med. Font size, so that is font size, okay, font size, med, M-E like is, M-E-D like as a medium. Then the word windows,
That's correct.
dash 1024 by 768, 256 color.
Correct.
Small font,
Correct.
withdrawn, lays on bed, knees pulled up to chest,
Correct.
correct?
That is correct.
And then $200 star account, correct?
That is correct.
The word Kendall,
Correct.
Tom, Wright, return. Is that Tom, Wright, return?
Correct.
Let's see. Model number 24, decorum.
I'm not sure what the number was before that.
Number
Might be
20
211.
No, oh, number 211, okay. DECO.
Decorum.
Okay. Number 562135, Indiana.
Correct.
Direct your attention to State's Exhibit 188.
I will now display 188. And now returning to the video.
This is a photograph you recovered from the film that Julie Jensen provided to you.
That is correct.
Fixed November 1998, Daily Record of Events.
Correct.
CCI, and underneath that EFII, and underneath that MRK.
MRK, correct.
Across from there it says Tom,
Correct.
and underneath that it says puked on carpet over weekend. Can't make out. Something or other into it with
Into
weather. With weather. And Officer Kosman, I'm not going to direct your attention to Exhibit S 188. I guess I better.
And I will now now display 188. Oh, actually, we did see 188. That was the one we just saw.
What number are we on?
So we just saw 188, and I think they are referring to 188 still.
All right.
Pull this back out. And Exhibit S 188 is a photograph that you recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
And we were talking about this when we broke, and so try to pick up where we left off. And then we got into it.
You know, the problem is, you may have the lens too close. You've got too close of a picture there, because it's not clear to me that you're getting the whole line.
Well, we're not getting the whole line.
Maybe
That's
you
why.
are. I
See,
don't know.
that's why I'm going over like that, Judge. But if I pull it back so you can see the whole line, then you can't read. At least I can't read it. I don't know if the witness can read it. Can you read that from there, Mr. Kosman?
Yes, it can.
Okay. Well, then let's do it that way. What does it say?
First word is hard to figure out. Maybe plucked on carpet,
Puked.
Puked on carpet.
over a weekend. Looks like got into it with her tonight. It cleaned.
Or does it say got to Exhibit 189?
I will display Exhibit 189. And now returning to the video.
And that is a, I'll put it like this so you can see the whole thing. That is, again, is a photograph that was recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That's correct.
And that indicates it's November 1988 daily record of events.
That is correct.
And it's from Thursday, I don't know if you can see that. Thursday the 5th, is that what that says in the upper right-hand corner? Can you read it?
Thursday at 5th.
And can you read what that says?
Looks like EFIL.
And up here in the, over here,
Over there is CCI.
and then what's written here?
And it says, Tom, right return module of chairs are in.
Model of chairs are right. So, model
I
of chairs
can't. Are white.
are white or right? Here, let's,
Could be, it is right, are right. And
and
there's
then it says Bloomberg,
buttons, sign, chairs, desk, cage, wood panels.
and then,
Franklin Covey, St. Louis Galleria, 2154 St. Louis Galleria.
and then it says order number.
Can't
Oh, I'm
see
sorry,
it.
I gotta move over there, don't I?
Order number 18679581. Franklin
Franklin Covey. Is that what that says?
Franklin something.
And then, see what it says there?
There's something up above that you're not capturing.
I'm sorry. Phone, Patagonia.
Correct?
And then it says, what does that say, caged or cached until 1:30? Is that what that says?
It appears that.
Starting at 11?
Correct? No answer?
Oh, does it say called? Called till 1:30? Is that what that is? Called till 1:30? I don't know, whatever it is. It's,
Again, it's for the jury to decide.
that is, it is. And underneath, starting at 11, it says no answer.
That's correct?
And finally, Buddy did. That's what that says.
It appears to say did.
Couldn't wake up groggy. Is that what that says?
That's correct.
No. Underneath with the Franklin Covey, it says 2-page. Can you read what that word is?
Maybe monthly?
And what does it say underneath that?
Back order, fill 1116.
Is there more on the page?
Nope, that was it. Directing your attention to State's Exhibit 190.
Now showing Exhibit 190.
What's the date of this one? I didn't see it on the top. Thank you.
And now resuming the video.
Again, is that a photograph that was recovered from the film that you obtained from Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
And what does it say in the upper left-hand corner, if you can see?
CCI, looks like EFIIMRK.
And this was from Tuesday, November 10th?
That's correct.
And then reads that.
Looks like 12M.
And then it reads life. Can you read it?
Life is hard, but it's harder if you're stupid. Club.
Did you miss something?
And then what does that read?
14262 dash.
142. Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
Looks like 14262-2, Willow Bend Park, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63017. And a symbol of a money sign, looks like Dan/Missy.
Underneath that?
Time I can waste, Denver, St. John, maybe?
St. John's Wort.
Hockey, December, Tuesday 8th, and every Saturday night.
Big Cedar.
Can't make out the last word.
Is that Big Cedar?
Could possibly say Big Cedar.
And then directing your attention to States Exhibit 191.
Now displaying States Exhibit 191.
Again, is a photograph recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
It is?
It's from November 16th, or Monday, November 16th, correct?
That is correct.
See what those three letters are?
MT, I believe it would be G. And a 20, excuse me, the 20 is circled. Withdrawn kids, boat, and,
Jelensky?
correct,
What does that read?
10,
What does that read? Locked chest?
I'm sorry?
Does that read locked chest?
It's possible.
And underneath that?
Crying about miscarriage or miscarriage.
Put that last one on. Crying about
Miscarriage. It's a miscarriage, as in,
well, whatever it is, the jury will decide. If they,
if they need to. Directing your attention to States Exhibit 192.
Now displaying States Exhibit 192. And now returning to the video.
This is another photograph obtained from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen.
That is correct.
And looking up there, it's kind of, you see the 1 and part of another number, and it's the 321st day, correct?
Correct.
And that's November 1998, daily record of events.
That is correct.
What does that read?
Getaway,
And then underneath that?
10,
There.
I can't make out what that
Locked chest.
could
yeah.
be.
Locked in bedroom morning.
Correct.
8:50.
Correct.
Too much to do.
Correct.
What does it read under there?
Say meal,
And underneath that?
cruise,
Underneath that?
job/quit, crying about miscarriage, suddenly
Is that detached?
apparently itinerary for, I believe it's week.
Is that locked in
Locked
room?
in room when I got home. Dave, Isabel,
And then and telephone number. Oh, let's see.
There was some, yeah.
Can you read what that says?
Check, maybe get on MCK.
Direct your attention to States Exhibit 193.
Now displaying States Exhibit 193. And returning to the video.
Is that a photograph that you recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
You recognize that?
Susan Schneider, 652-1121.
Do you now or know, or did you ever know who Susan Schneider is or was?
I'm sorry?
Do you know who Susan Schneider is?
No, I do not.
Never heard of her?
Never have.
Direct your attention to States Exhibit 194.
Now I will be displaying States Exhibit 194.
Slash. Looks like Barb E. Fuller.
Can you read that?
Looks like Dybel, D-Y-B-L-E, possibly.
Can you read that?
Program information. Brant slash. Appears to say reinvest.
Here's what that says.
GP, either S or 5, and it looks like BJX. 1313Y.
Council, was that 194?
Yes, that was 194. Direct your attention to Exhibit 195.
Now displaying States Exhibit 195. And now returning to the video.
And is that a photograph that was recovered from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
And that appears to be from the November 20th?
Correct. And start sign with GP, it's either 5 or S,
And underneath that?
and beneath that appears to be BJX. Century Securities. Check on A and E
Is it insurance?
unsubstantiated, maybe?
Any insurance?
Underneath that is apps. All details. Program into to run. Cold. I ate dinner sneezing, eyes running, drowsy, can hardly stay awake. And the word Barb, the letters inside the box are FORRER, BUS, maybe INT, International. Outside of that is the numbers 1902. Underneath Barb would be 414-906-3227. And it would be what appears to be 4495-9219.
And direct your attention, now finding the last photograph, S196.
Now displaying States Exhibit 196. And returning to the video.
And is S186 a photograph that you obtained from the film provided to you by Julie Jensen?
That is correct.
And it indicates that it's a Thursday and the 323rd day?
Correct.
Can you read that up there?
323rd day. It'd be HD with a star GPS WMT. Inside the circle is 8-9 next Friday. Brett.
Brett, not serious. Not serious one. Brett. Is that Brett Nate? Serious one?
Wait, I'm not sure what that word would be.
Well, the first word is Brett.
That is correct, BRTT.
And then is that Nate?
Looks like N8.
And then,
And serious one?
okay. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. And, Your Honor, I guess counsel has proposed that I clarify something, and this is a smaller version. This is a 4x6 photograph of of this, and it looks like this S196 is an 8x10 blow-up of 196 marked here. And the 4x6 actually,
So I'm now going to display States Exhibit 196A. And returning to the video.
is more complete. You can see there's a portion of it cut off. It's the 19th, Thursday the 19th.
That is
And
correct.
as you can see by looking at this, that portion, the outside portion is cut off.
All right.
Should we have this marked as an exhibit?
Make it give the same exhibit number with
176A?
A.
I need to- First of all, Your Honor, I've moved those exhibits into evidence. Let me give you the numbers. I don't recall if I'd moved them into evidence before, but I think it's S173 through S196.
The objection. And the smaller one was that 196A.
Was it 196A? Was that? I moved that one into evidence as well, but let me see what it is here. Is it still up there? It's in this stack here, huh? By sleight of hand, I've misplaced that exhibit, so let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, that'd be 176A is included there. It says here 176A. So maybe it should be 196, I don't know.
I think that should be 196.
Should be 196A, yes. You just change this 7 to a 9. Thank you. So with that, Your Honor, I move those exhibits into evidence.
No objection.
They'll be received.
No further questions.
Cross-examine.
Officer Kosman, I put on the easel a calendar from November, December 1998. Are you able to see that?
Yes, Sam.
It was It was November 24th that you had contact with Julie Jensen in person,
That is correct.
and she passed away on December 3rd, about 9 days later, correct?
Correct.
Thanksgiving Day was November 26th,
I believe it would have been, yes.
and it was the previous weekend you were deer hunting.
That is correct.
While you were gone, Julie Jensen left you a voicemail.
2 voicemails.
Did you keep those voicemails, Officer Kosman?
No, I did not.
I presume there was a time and date stamp or notation when she left those voicemails?
Yes.
Did you note the time and date that she left those voicemails?
No, I did not.
After her death, did you make any effort to recover those voicemails?
At that point, they were irretrievable.
Did you talk to somebody to find out if they were irretrievable?
I talked to our chief, and he thought it was impossible to retrieve them.
And that's all the further you followed up?
Yes.
Did you try to talk to somebody who operates your phone system at all?
No, I did not.
When did you delete those voicemails?
It would have been after I had talked to Julie Jensen in person. It would have been either maybe later the 24th or possibly the 25th.
But after you met with her, then you erased these voicemails.
I'm sorry?
After you met with her, then you erased these voicemails.
That is correct.
Officer Kosman, you prepared a report regarding your meeting with Julie Jensen on November 24th,
I did write a report, yes.
and regarding the voicemails that she had left you, correct?
I made mention in there, yes, I did.
You prepared your report within a day or two of seeing her on November 24th, correct?
That is correct.
I take it that when you prepare police reports, you try to make them as accurate and complete as possible?
That is correct.
And that's what you did regarding the voicemails that you had heard and the contact that you had with Julie Jensen on November 24th, correct?
It could have been more clarified in my report.
You testified that she left you 2 voicemails, right?
That's correct.
Now, when you wrote your first report within a day or two of that contact with her on November 24th, you only indicated that she had left you 1 voicemail, is that right?
I thought I put 2 down.
Did those seem like unusual items to be on a shopping list to you?
No.
Did you know the neighbors, the Voights?
No, I did not.
Had you ever met them before?
No, I have not.
You had been at the Jensen home dozens of times?
That's correct.
You would stop by the Jensen home 10 times a year just as a friend, right?
Basically, to check on 2 things, basically. If any problems had been starting up again, and just to let her know that we were in the area, that we're still trying to keep an extra eye on the house for her, for this individual who may have been leaving photographs and so forth around the house.
Would you disagree with the following statement that it could have been 10 times a year that you'd stop and see her socially?
I don't think it would have been that many.
Do you recall testifying on August 30th, 2007 in this case?
What was the date again?
August 30th, 2007. Do you recall testifying in the Kenosha County Courthouse in late August?
It was late August. I think it may have been the 25th or something along that line. I know it was late August.
I'm about to be at page 96, line 20. Let's see, let me start it. Line 5. Question, how many times did you stop to talk to her socially? Answer, I'd have to give you an estimate, probably maybe 7 to 10 times, maybe more. Question, let's do it this way. How many times a year do you think you did that? Answer, I'm sorry. Question, how many times a year do you think you did that you stopped and talked to Mrs. Jensen socially? Answer, basically whenever I would see her outside. Question, and so that would be 3 or 4 times a year? Answer, may have been more, may have been less, I don't recall. Question, it could have been 10 times a year that you'd stop and see her socially? It's possible.
It's very possible. I do not recall the number of times that I stopped socially. There were no reports generated for that.
But you made frequent social contacts with Mrs. Jensen, right?
Your Honor, I object under the doctrine of completeness. I would direct the court and counsel's attention to page 95, starting at line 17.
What's the date?
What council was it? August 30th. What's the? I don't have the.
August 30th.
August 30th, page 95, line 11.
I don't have that transcript.
Well, I'll show you the portion that I want.
From line 11?
Page 95, line 11, on down.
I read from line 17, I don't have any problem with that.
And you read down through the top of the page 96?
Yeah, I read through line 5, so it's line 17 and 95.
I want to read from, oh, you don't have an objection? Did you still want to read it then, Judge?
Well, no, if there's no objection, go ahead.
From line
I'm
17.
wondering why I don't have.
From line 11. I want from line 11,
No.
page 95, through line 8, page 96. And I will give that to the court then.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, what? Does that mean you're allowing that to be read then?
I thought it was agreed.
No.
What I thought, Judge, is that from line 17 makes sense. Line 11, given his answer, and then it's mostly just my question, I don't think that makes sense. Line 17, I think, is appropriate.
Well, I have to agree with Mr. Albee.
Thank you.
Officer Kosman, beginning on page 95, line 17, question, okay, do you recall, before I come back to that, Officer Kosman, did you document with your department every contact you had with Mrs. Jensen? Answer, no, I did not. Question, why not? Answer, because like I said, some were more of a social nature, where I would see her around in the yard. Hadn't heard from her, I would stop for 2 reasons. First reason being to see if things had quieted down, if there were any problems, and secondly, and most importantly, to let her know that we were still keeping an extra eye on her home. Question, how many times did you, well, that's what I read before.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
And so if you'd see her outside, you'd stop, correct?
Not every time, but quite a bit.
And this could be as much as 10 times a year.
Again, I don't recall.
But it could be.
It could be more, it could be less.
Okay. And despite all those stops outside, you never had any contact with her neighbors, the Voights?
Not that I recall, no.
Did you go talk to the neighbors to find out what they knew?
No, I did not.
And is it fair to say during this conversation that you had with Mrs. Jensen on November 24th that you asked her numerous times to leave?
Yes. I advised her that if she was fearful for her safety or for the children's safety, then she should leave.
Well, you asked her numerous times to leave, right?
I asked her about 2 or 3 times. Or I made the mention that she should about 2 or 3 times.
Do you recall testifying at a preliminary hearing in this case back in 2002, Officer Kosman?
Yes, I do.
And did you give the following answer to the following question, page 45, line 13? Question, did you ask her whether she was going to leave or why she wouldn't leave? Answer, I asked her numerous times during the course of our conversation to leave. I told her I couldn't force her to do so, but if she felt I couldn't force her to do, I think there's just a comma error, so that's sorry. I told her I couldn't force her to do so, but if she felt threatened or felt that Mark was trying to harm her in any way, shape, or form for the sake of her kids, of herself and her kids, to leave. Did you give that answer?
Yes, I did.
And it was numerous times during the course of your conversation that you asked her to leave, correct?
Correct.
And things were a lot fresher in your mind at the time you gave this testimony at the preliminary hearing, correct?
It should, yes.
You did not talk about your contact with Mrs. Jensen, with Mark Jensen, correct?
That is correct.
During your conversation with Mrs. Jensen, you did not suggest installing any video or surveillance equipment on November 24th, correct?
No, I did not.
So if a neighbor reports that she had told him that you had made that suggestion, either Mrs. Jensen misreported that or the neighbor has it wrong. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say because I did not advise her to record anything within the home on that particular day.
You took the roll of film and had it developed immediately?
I believe it was the same day I dropped it off, and if memory serves me correct, either I got it back either later on the 24th or I got it back right away on the 25th.
And those are those photographs that were just displayed by Mr. Jamboys today?
The ones that were on the overhead, that is correct.
There weren't any other photographs, correct?
Just those.
There weren't any photographs of any computer screens, correct?
Not that I recall.
But we didn't see any today,
No,
right?
not that I saw.
And you understand that to have been the complete set of photographs, right?
As far as I know, yes.
Right after you received those developed photographs back, you reviewed them with Detective Ratsberg, right?
That's correct.
You both looked at them together?
Correct.
And after looking at those photographs, you did not talk with Mrs. Jensen again?
No, I did not.
You did not go to her house, correct?
Not that I recall, no.
And you're not aware of Detective Ratsberg going over to the house to talk to her, are you?
He may have, I don't know.
Are you aware of him doing that?
No, I'm not.
He never told you anything about that.
That's correct.
So if a neighbor says that he saw you over at the house, he would be mistaken?
Yes. The only time that I was there was when I went and talked to her the first time, or the only time.
Did you ever get, on November 24th, or any time between November 24th and Mrs. Jensen's death, did you ever get angry with her?
No.
Did you ever get loud with her?
Between that time frame?
Right.
No.
Did you ever yell at her?
No.
Did you ever imply that she was crazy to her?
No.
It had been a couple years earlier she had made the complaint that Mark wanted her to drink, correct?
Some wine, correct.
But that was in like 1996, right?
95, 96, 97, somewhere in there.
She explained that she did not want to drink because there was a family history of alcoholism, correct?
She advised me that her mother was an alcoholic.
Did Julie Jensen ever tell you about receiving counseling for depression?
No, she did not.
At no time during the course of the years that you knew her, did she ever mention having depression issues?
No.
Or having any treatment for depression issues?
No.
Or having previously been prescribed medication for depression?
No.
You had had contacts with Mr. Jensen perhaps a dozen times over the previous years?
That I did?
Yes.
It could have been. I don't recall exactly how many contacts I have with Mr. Jensen.
With Mr. Jensen?
Mr. Jensen.
Do you have an estimate of how many times you had contacts with Mr. Jensen?
I'm sorry?
Do you have an estimate as to how many times you had encounters with Mr. Jensen?
Maybe 6 to 12.
And there wasn't one occasion among those 6 to 12 times that you had contact with him in which he got angry, right?
Upset once, and that was basically because of some photographs that he had found.
He was upset about what somebody had done to their household, right?
About leaving the photographs, correct?
You never saw him angry with Mrs. Jensen.
No, I did not.
He never expressed any anger toward Mrs. Jensen for reporting any of this harassment to you, correct?
That is correct.
Mrs. Jensen never reported any physical violence in the household, correct?
Not to me, and as far as I know, not to anyone else.
You're not aware of her making any such report to any police officer in your department at any time, correct?
I'm not aware of any, no.
Officer Kosman, over the years, there were a number of occasions in which you were at the house, the Jensen house, right?
That's correct.
Those contacts dealt sometimes with harassment, right?
Harassment,
Sometimes with the social contacts you talked about, correct?
correct?
And sometimes about sort of just general complaints about vandalism.
Correct.
Judge, at this point, there's 2 question and answers that are missing from the video. So by agreement, I am going to read those into the record.
I'm going to ask you one more. How longer is this video?
So this video has 48 minutes remaining.
We're not going to make it. I think we've done enough this week. I really do. These are not easy to watch, and I'm not criticizing anybody. So, folks, enjoy your weekend. See you Tuesday at 8:30. Leave your notes back here. Joe, you want to just hold them for a little bit? Hold them. Yeah.
Good weekend.
You too. Remember to hold them. Hold them. All right. Close the door. All right. I'm holding the jury so we can take the defendant. He doesn't have to wait.
Judge, real quick,
We did have an agreement. We spoke to the prosecutors yesterday about one of our experts has to testify on the 27th because of January because of some family issues. So if it gets to that date and the defense is not on, there's an agreement to take her out of order.
So they're going to let you take your witness out of order?
Yes.
Just remind me, that's fine. Okay. Take the defendant back so the jury can be released.